A number of years ago, I found myself in a somewhat inherited mess. I was serving as the executive director for a relatively large regional distribution organization. And the overall processes had become a complete mess. As a matter of fact, the reason the previous director was dismissed was because of this mess. When I came in, I sat back and I took a look at the operations because I was internal to those operations. I was a part of the team. And I identified that there were a few people in leadership, a few team players, and a few operations that were actually doing extraordinarily well against all of the organizational odds around them. So I began by asking, what's right? What are we doing well? The first meeting where I posed this question, I was surprised at the amount of shock and awe I saw on everyone's face. And I made this an open meeting. I brought everyone in, from drivers to equipment operators to managers and department leaders. I brought everyone into the room. We packed the meeting room. We had plenty of food. We were planning on staying in there for a long time. And my primary objective was, let's talk about what's going well. Let me explain why. So when I say what's right versus what's wrong, and I say this a lot, instead of asking what's wrong, ask what's right. What I mean by that is redirect people's attention to the things that are going well, the things that are being done well. This is a great way to channel energy. Every human being only has so much energy. And when you work in a work culture that has been toxic or challenging, and perhaps processes have been crippling, one of the worst things you can do is continue to channel all that energy on what's not working, what they're frustrated about, or the negative issues that have arisen over weeks, months, years, whatever the case. When you instead point their attention to the things that are going well, it completely changes the dynamics of the room. It changes the dynamics of the conversation, and everyone wants to participate. So ask, what's right? What's going well? And in doing so, I was able to get everyone to kind of throw in and offer their suggestions. And one of the things that I noticed was, number one, there was a unanimous agreement for the individuals who were giving 100%, doing their best, following policies, processes, protocols, whatever the case might be. Their scorecard, in the opinion of their peers, was high, regardless of what previous management might have communicated. And so by asking for that feedback, by asking for that input, everybody is pointing to the individuals, the leaders, the team players that are doing well, and they're giving their kudos, they're giving their praise, they're giving their thanks, and immediately that raised the energy. So now we're channeling energy towards the positive, and we're empowering the individuals who were doing extraordinarily well. It also helped me to identify people that I might not have worked with on a day-to-day basis, because I didn't really recognize the things they were doing well. But now all of the team players are focusing on those things. Now in the executive director position, I could identify the individuals, the players who were really contributing. And what I wanted to do from this was I wanted to draw those individuals out, have another meeting aside with them, and ask them, how did you do it so well? What were you doing that led others to believe you're doing it so well? And how can we apply this to the rest of the team? And I asked them for their feedback. In many cases, I gave them promotions. I assigned them with leadership. I gave them the delegated responsibility of helping to facilitate certain behaviors that proved to produce the results we wanted. And we were going to make that a sweeping change across the organization. And the overall morale of the organization changed tremendously. The break room conversations, the water cooler conversations, even everyone's body posture. In fact, one of the challenging issues was safety. We noticed that safety began improving immediately after this meeting without any interaction, without any intervention, simply because people cared more. Why? Because they felt they were being listened to. When people feel they're being listened to, when people feel that they can contribute to the overall success of an organization, they will buy in with a higher level of buy-in, and they will do more on a daily basis. So again, ask what's right before you ask what's wrong. Obviously, we're not going to ignore what's wrong, but we want to focus on what's right. Use the energy around what's right to help reshape the way we're doing other things that maybe aren't going so well. By asking the question, what's right, we can create some immediate common ground by giving everyone a voice and an opportunity to contribute in their own voice what they felt was going well. We create this common ground for what's right.